Good morning or afternoon, everyone. So today's topic has the theme, the Ark of the Covenant. And we are going to approach this from the place that holds the preciousness of who you are and your heart. I'll need to go into this a little more deeply. What inspired this theme was I had these cards with me, sacred sites, and I drew a card, and it's this card. Let's see if I can get that close enough so you can really see everything. Aksum. And the candles are on either side of what is the Ark of the Covenant that is said to be housed in this sacred city. And the woman we see in the card is the Queen of Sheba, the queen that we read about or hear about by legend or by historical fact that met with King Solomon, and from which comes the beautiful love text, the Song of Songs. And what is in the legend is Solomon asked her to embrace Yahweh, the one God, to move from what her religion was, and she did. And there's a lot of interesting depth to this that's going to set the stage for us creating a space for coming into contact with and beholding the preciousness of ourselves. I'm going to use of our heart, but I really mean of ourselves. I'm just using that as a little bit of a symbol. So Aksum is said to be the place where King Solomon sent the Ark of the Covenant to be housed. And it's considered the Chapel of the Tablets, which is situated in a church dedicated to Saint Mary of Zion and built on the remains of the original church. What we're called to here is, well, many things. You can be called to whatever you want. But the theme of this particular reflection is allowing the Queen of Sheba to remind you to really work with what you have. Now, when I have heard that phrase, to work with what I have, it's almost like I don't have much, so I'm going to work with what I've got. That's the connotation. But here we're turning to something much more magnificent. In our spiritual journey, it can be very easy to overlook or to diminish the essential, unique qualities that are ours. And yet, part of our truly becoming, part of our path of embodying consciousness, of embodying love, of being all we're meant to be, is actually opening up with wonder and awe to who and what we are. And in some of the words that go with this reading, it's really lovely, is perhaps you are tired of listening to others. Instead, look upon all that you do with wonder and awe. See your world through new eyes and bring all that is hidden to the light. By doing so, joy will accompany you and magic will become a part of your everyday reality. We're invited through the reading and the card to look deep into the eyes of the mysterious dark beauty of the upper world. That's the Queen of Sheba here. She represents and beckons you to make the most of what you have. She took the arduous journey to visit King Solomon in Israel in those times. And even though she was a queen, she was still just a woman and did not warrant respect. However, She used her best aspects, her intellect, her wit, and her charm, and her beauty. She valued these qualities of herself. And in it, what did she do? She gained the respect and the admiration of Solomon. I'm adding in the word admiration. When she accepted Yahweh, she returned home. And it is thought that perhaps with this beautiful love that occurred, this reflection of divine love that they experienced, that was the reason that King Solomon sent the Ark of the Covenant to be housed in Aksum. That is thought to possibly be the reason. So that draws us in to value the key qualities of ourselves, value them enough to name them. To name them, not name them in relationship to what other people think or even how we hold ourselves, but to let ourselves come close to what are our qualities, not our gifts, but our qualities, because our qualities are our gifts, or our qualities lead us to our gifts. I want to invite you right now to pause this recording and to sit quietly just for however much time you need. It could be 1 minute, it could be 10 minutes, it could be longer, and either go in front of a mirror or sit with a piece of paper and jot down the true beautiful gifts that you are, the qualities that make up the you. Let this be an exercise that lets you draw close, and even with a certain wonder or a certain awe, like a child that would be in awe of something that they discovered. I remember, I still do it today, and sometimes people will take it to be a little like I'm puffed up or something, but it's not like that at all. Sometimes when we do something that we just couldn't have imagined, like something comes out of us, it's like, wow, we can be like children, like, wow, look at that. I just said a prayer that contributed to the healing of somebody I love. Wow. It's not a puff up to do that. It is humbling in gratitude in the participation of the divine nature of our being. So maybe you turned the recording off and you're back on now, but if you haven't, turn the recording off now and spend some time writing down a few of your qualities that are beautiful and worthy of awe and respect. Respect. All right, my friends. So you should be back on now with those qualities. Our meditation today is going to be a use of an imagination of Queen Sheba and the Ark of the Covenant. And then with that as well, we're going to tone like a mantra, a song. It's a song I remember fondly from my childhood that Carrie Landry. So as a Catholic, after Vatican II, when a lot of songs in our own languages came forward, there was this rush of St. Louis Jesuits and many others that produced amazing music. The Monks of Western Priory and Carrie Landry put out a great body of work. And this one is based on the Song of Songs. I'm going to sing the line for you here. It's from chapter 8 in the Song of Songs. And I'll sing it here, but you can just join in the meditation when we get to that point. It sounds like this. Set me like a seal on your heart, like a seal on your heart. Set me like a seal on your heart. How right it is to love you. That's what we're going to be singing. during our time of meditation. All right, so you should have either in your awareness or written on a piece of paper, somehow essential qualities of yours that are worthy of love, beauty, that are beautiful, worthy of respect and awe. I invite you to close your eyes. And become aware that as we sit in this meditation, we sit in circle together. The participants of this immersion span 5 time zones. So let's, in spirit, become aware that time and space are relative, and we can, in this very moment, sit in circle together. Imagine or sense this, and recognize, if it's difficult to imagine everybody, since you don't know everybody, that I am sitting in circle with you, and that there are then many others that you know or don't know in this circle. As we sit in circle, we each hold within our hearts or our hands the qualities about ourselves that are precious. And recognizing that we are beyond the body. We are more than the body. Body contains us, but we are more than the body. Recognizing this, let yourself, through your sensing or imagining, rise in soul form upwards from the body. We all rise together. A friendship circle of souls rising upwards, upwards, moving through the roof of the place where you sit up into the sky. And we travel with ease high up into the sky. And we turn towards the city of Aksum, place where it is said that the Queen of Sheba reigned. We move in spirit and soul to this place. Just simply move. There's no need to figure out where that is. We move visually, probably east. We move, we move. Feel the air upon your skin. Perhaps there are birds, clouds, the sun warming you. Rapidly. The Atlantic Ocean is between you and this city. Move across the ocean. If not, move across land. And we come with ease above the city of Aksum, and we descend to the very chapel of Saint Mary of Zion. We descend to be standing upon the steps of this chapel that houses the Ark of the Covenant. And in our hearts or hands, we hold the qualities of ourselves that are precious. As we stand on the steps, the doors open. And who is standing there but the Queen of Sheba in all her regalia? And she greets us with solemn reverence. Silently, she looks into your eyes, nodding her head with charm and attention, a certain playfulness and wisdom. And she motions to us to follow her. She turns and we follow, walking into the chapel, St. Mary of Sion. She walks straight towards the Ark of the Covenant. Let your imagination see a structure holding the Ark of the Covenant and the Ark itself and the covenant itself. It's through her, in her own ability to stand in her divine power and allow her charm and intelligence and beauty to be at the service of her call, her spiritual call. It is because of her willingness and ability to step into the fullness of that power that this ark is before us now. Sit for a moment in silence. And in what we see before us, we are, by virtue of this sight, invited to step into our divine power. Queen of Sheba looks you in the eyes and invites you to place what you're reverencing in your heart or in your hands within the ark. And in your own time and way, walk forward to this ark and place it into the ark so that it may be held up and celebrated. These qualities of you, of your wild heart. Now we all form a circle around the ark. Queen Sheba is part of our circle. And we very lightly begin to sway to the right and to the left, to the right, to the left. And we sing our mantra. We begin by singing it to ourselves. Be the lover, to you the beloved. Set me like a seal on your heart, like a seal on your arm. Set me like a seal on your heart. How right it is to love you. Set me like a seal on your heart, like a seal on your arm. Set me like a seal on your heart. How right it is to love you. Set me like a seal on your heart, like a seal on your arm. Set me like a seal on your heart. How right it is to love you. Set me like a seal on your heart, like a seal on your arm. Set me like a seal on your heart. How right it is to love you. Set me like a seal on your heart, like a seal on your arm. Set me like a seal on your heart. How right it is to love you. Now sing it to everyone in the circle and receive everyone in the circle singing it to you, including the Queen of Sheba. Set me like a seal on your heart, like a seal on your arm. Set me like a seal on your heart. How right it is to love you. Set me like a seal on your heart, like a seal on your arm. Set me like a seal on your heart. How right it is to love you. Set me like a seal on your heart, like a seal on your arm. Set me like a seal on your heart. How right it is to love you. Set me like a seal on your heart, like a seal on your arm. Set me like a seal on your heart. How right it is to love you. Set me like a seal on your heart, like a seal on your arm. Set me like a seal on your heart. How right it is to love you. Now we sing it for all creation, past, present, and future. Set me like a seal on your heart, like a seal on your arm. Set me like a seal on your heart. how right it is to love you. Set me like a seal on your heart, like a seal on your arm. Set me like a seal on your heart, how right it is to love you. Set me like a seal on your heart, like a seal on your arm. Set me like a seal on your heart, how right it is to love you. Now the time has come for us to leave this Ark of the Covenant in the meditation. But there is no need to ever leave it, for it is alive and eternal. In spirit, soul, we move out of the chapel with the Queen of Sheba. She sees us to the door, comes out onto the steps with us. And as a friendship, a collection of souls, we rise up into the sky. She stands with awe as we leave her. And we move effortlessly through the air back to the room where you sit and I sit. Feel yourself integrated and grounded in your body, wherever you may be. When you're ready, wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Bring the palms together in front of your heart. And open your eyes with Aho. Aho. Blessings, my friends.